Hello students, today we'll go for some other concepts of complex integrations, and the concept is winding number or index of a curve. Winding number or index of a curve. First of all, let us see the definition of what is meant by winding number or index of a curve. Okay, so let gamma be a closed contour in a complex plane C that avoids a point A in C. That is, point A is not on this curve gamma. Avoid means what? The point A is not on this curve gamma. Suppose any complex plane you have. We know this is your complex plane in which x-axis, y-axis, there is real axis and imaginary axis are there. And in this, we consider any curve gamma and the point A is not in gamma, not on gamma. That means either A will be here inside gamma or A will be here outside gamma, whatever it may be. So that means the point is not on this curve gamma. The index or winding number of gamma about this point A, either this or this, denoted by n of gamma A or ind of gamma A, this ind for index, which is given by the integral n of index of gamma about point A is equal to 1 upon 2 pi I integral over gamma 1 upon z minus a with respect to z. Integral over gamma of 1 upon z minus a with respect to z. Okay, that is the definition for index or winding number of gamma. Now actually what this means, n of gamma at A, what is that means? That we will see exactly what is meant by n of. But for this moment, we will see that the definition of index of gamma about any point A is nothing but 1 by 2 pi I times integral over gamma of 1 upon z minus a with respect to z. 1 upon z minus a with respect to z. We'll see first of all example and then we will go for geometrical interpretation of index number. Okay. For example, let gamma is our gamma at t which is equal to z such that z minus a equal to r e to the power it, where t varies from 0 to 2 pi k. T varies from 0 to 2 pi k. Now what is this? Set of all those z such that z minus a equal to r into e to the power it. That is z equal to a plus r e to the power it. What is this? This is the curved circle having center at A and radius R if your t varies from 0 to 2 pi. T varies from 0 to 2 pi. So this is the circle, right, having center at A and radius R if our t varies from what? 0 to 2 pi. Now what is here? T varies from 0 to 2 pi k. 0 to 2 pi k means you are taking angle from 2 pi, 4 pi, 6 pi, 8 pi, so on. So if we take t from 0 to 2 pi, then you will get this circle. If we take t from 0 to 4 pi, you will get one more circle having same radius, which is on this previous circle. If it is 6 pi, we get one more circle on the same region, isn't it? It is like that. So these are the number of circles centered at A and radius R. So you are going just way. This one, how many times k? Second one, third one. This is actually curve, right? 2 pi k. Then gamma encircles the point at k times counterclockwise. Gamma encircles the point A at k times. That means what? This gamma is a circle. What is gamma? Gamma is a circle having center at A. That means the point is inside gamma. Center at A, radius R, and how many times it is revolving? k times it is revolving. K times it is revolving. Further, integral over, now we will find the integral over gamma of 1 upon z minus a with respect to z. Integral over gamma 1 upon z minus a with respect to z is equal to, now gamma varies from what? T varies from 0 to 2 pi k. We know that it is 0 to 2 pi k. And what is your dz? If z is gamma, what is z? Z is this one, a plus r e to the power it. This is z. What is dz? Dz become derivative of this side 0, r I e to the power it. So this dz is there into dt. So r I e to the power it into dt upon r e to the power it for this. I is constant, can be taken outside. R e to the power it cancels with r e to the power it. We get only integral from 0 to 2k pi of 1 with respect to t. Now what about integral of 1 with respect to t? And t varies from 0 to 2 pi k. So put t equal to 2 pi k minus t equal to 0. So we get 2 pi k into I. Therefore, now what is, in this case, if your gamma is given by this, then integral over gamma 1 upon z minus a with respect to z becomes what? 2k pi I. That is, therefore, 1 upon 2k pi I into integral over gamma dz upon z minus a. This goes to here, equal to k. 1 upon 2 pi I. 2 pi I we have taken here, it will be k. So, but what is it? It is n of gamma a. So what we obtain? Number of, means index of gamma about a is equal to k. Index of gamma about a is equal to k, or winding number of gamma about a equal to k. But what is k? K is number of times the curve revolving about a. The number of times curve revolving about a, that is n of gamma k equal to k, that is index of gamma is k. What this means? Thus if gamma encircles the point a k times, that means if a is a point inside gamma and gamma is revolving k times about that point in the clockwise direction, then now here in the clockwise direction, then it will be minus k. Now this is in this direction, therefore we get k times. If it is this direction, we get how much times? Minus times. In that case, index of gamma is minus k. So simply, what is meant by winding number of gamma at a or about a? Winding number of gamma about a is nothing but number of times gamma revolving about that point. Number of times gamma revolving about that point. This is the index or winding number of gamma about any point. And if it is, this is anti-clockwise direction. If it is in clockwise direction, it will be sign becomes minus. Thus, in either case, index is an integer, maybe positive integer, maybe negative integer, but it should be integer. So index of gamma about a means the number of times gamma wraps around a in, actually it should be in anti-clockwise direction for positive, and for negative it should be clockwise direction. Okay, this is the case. So here in this case, your point A is inside gamma, point B is outside gamma. So number of times gamma wrapping around A is 1. Therefore, n of gamma about A is equal to 1. That is, index of gamma about A is 1, or winding number of gamma about A is 1. But the winding number of gamma here in this case about B is 0, because this gamma is not revolved around this B, and therefore n of gamma at B equal to 0. For this curve, n of gamma at A equal to -1, because direction is clockwise direction, and n of B is also, n of gamma about B is again 0, because it is outside this gamma. So if a point lies outside the gamma, then n of gamma about that point is always equal to 0. That means that curve doesn't revolve about that point B. Similarly here. Now for this curve, how many times your this gamma anticlockwise direction revolves about A? About A only one times. How many times your gamma revolves about C? This one and this one, two times. Isn't it? How many times? Two times. So n of gamma C is equal to 2. And what about B? How many times? Curve revolves about B 0 times. So it will be 0. Isn't it? It is like that. So C, n of C, n of gamma C is equal to 2, n of gamma A is equal to 1, and n of gamma B is equal to 0. That is the case. So simply winding number means winding number is nothing but the number of times curve wrapped about that point. Okay. Right. Note that Cauchy's theorem implies that n of gamma at A equal to n of gamma 0 at A for all closed curves gamma 0 that are homotopic to gamma has a closed curve in C deleted from point A. But that means if we take one more curve gamma 0 which is homotopic to gamma. Homotopic to gamma means what? Which is similar to gamma. It is like this. So if this is here and point is here, and then second curve is here, point is here. So for this gamma 0, n of gamma 0 about A is same, n of gamma about A is also same. That is their case. Okay. From 1 upon 2 pi r integral over gamma 1 upon z minus a with respect to z equal to k, which belongs to z. We have this one. Okay. Whenever gamma t equal to a plus r e to the power 2k pi I t, we can conclude that n of gamma at a equal to k for mod z minus a less than r, and n of gamma about a is equal to 0 for mod z minus a equal to r. That means what? If your point lies inside that radius, obviously it is obvious that if point lies inside this r, then it should be k, and if this point lies outside, then number of times it is wrapping about a, but if your point is outside, it will be 0. So n of gamma at a becomes 0 if your point lies outside that curve. Okay. The concept of winding number is useful to characterize what is meant by the inside and outside, like this. When we say that a point lies inside and a point lies outside, if n of gamma about that point is 0, we can say that the point lies outside the region, and if n of gamma at that point is not equal to 0, we can say that it is in interior. That is, interior of gamma is set of all those points where the winding number is not equal to 0, where the winding number is not equal to 0, and exterior of gamma is set of all those points where the winding number is equal to 0. Moreover, a closed curve gamma from closed interval to C is said to be positively oriented. When we say that it is positively, if index number of winding number is greater than 0 for every z, and negatively oriented if it is less than 0 for every z outside gamma. So from this winding number, you can say that whether it is positively oriented or negatively oriented. Okay. Now if gamma consists of finitely many closed contours, gamma 1, gamma 2, gamma k and c, then every a dot belongs to gamma k, right? N of gamma means number of winding number of gamma about a is equal to sum of winding number of gamma 1 about a plus winding number of gamma 2 about a plus up to plus winding number of gamma k about a. But this means it is like this, or it will be clear by using this. N of gamma at C, this is your curve gamma 1 and this is your gamma 2. Actually whole curve is your gamma. So n of gamma about C is nothing but n of gamma 1 about C plus n of gamma 2 about C. If third curve is again there, we can say that it is plus n of gamma 3 about C and so on. That is a simple curve, right? And n of minus gamma 1 about A is nothing but minus n of gamma 1 about A. That is only direction is opposite. If you reverse the curve, then the number becomes only negative. So if we take in this side about A, it is n of here gamma about A equal to plus 1, and if we take along this direction, in that case n of gamma about A becomes minus 1, and that can be written as n of minus gamma 1 about A also, which is same. Okay, that is same. Now we will see the most again important formula from this chapter, that is Cauchy integral formula. Now that depend on that index number or winding number. We will use to prove this formula the concept of winding number or index of gamma. Okay, we'll see the statement of this result. If D is a simply connected domain and gamma is a closed contour in D, it is a closed contour in D. We know that closed contour means it should be smooth, isn't it? That is continuous at different points also, not whole continuous, but piecewise continuous curve. So it may be continuous, it may be piecewise curves, and F is analytic in D. Actually it is and F is analytic in D for A belongs to D minus V. Then F of A into n of gamma at A is equal to 1 upon 2 pi I integral over gamma f of psi upon psi minus A into D psi. So F of A into n of number of, that is winding number of gamma about A into F of A equal to 1 by 2 pi I times integral of f of psi upon psi minus A about gamma with respect to psi. This is called Cauchy's formula. Okay, this is called Cauchy's integral formula. This is very important because using this formula we can find number of integrals there, number of complex integrals or number of complex line integrals there. Okay, let f is analytic and consider capital Fz by this one, f of z minus f of A upon z minus A for z not equal to A, and it is equal to f dash at A for z equal to A. We will define capital F by this one. We will define capital F by this one. Capital F is f of z minus f of A upon z minus A for z not equal to A, and f dash at A for z equal to A. Then f is analytic in D minus A and continuous on D. Hence by Cauchy's theorem, integral over C, f of xi with respect to xi is 0. Now why? F is analytic in D minus A. Because if f is, we have taken f for this. So limit exists for z tends to A here because z is not equal to A. So limit exists here, isn't it? This is f dash at. So limit at z tends to A exists for this. Therefore, it should be differentiable. That is capital F is analytic. So f is analytic in D minus A. We can find its derivative and continuous on D also. So if f is analytic, capital F, now this is going for capital F, not small f. We need to show by for function small f. We define function capital F in terms of small f. Okay, that's why here capital F is analytic in this domain and continuous on D. Hence,